Welcome everyone. This is the Bath Charter Township Special Board meeting for Thursday, December 26th. Merry Christmas, happy second day of Hanukkah, happy first day of Kwanzaa, whatever you celebrate or don't celebrate, happy you're doing it in Bath Township. If my colleagues will please turn your microphones on. We should have a pretty brief meeting today. You want to give us a roll call, Madam Clerk?
Mr. Funes-Bliss?
Here.
Ms. Butler-Challenger here. Ms. Wilson? Here. Ms. Hagerman? Here. Ms. Kellerman?
Here.
Mr. Conkey?
Here.
Mr. Rosenmax?
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 2 on our agenda is civic reflection. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance and end with a moment of silence. So if you could stand if you are able and join us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now a moment of silence. All right, thank you. Short little moment of silence. Item number 3 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I did not hear any changes to be made, and also this is a special meeting, so we can't really make changes unless it has to do with appointments or budget amendments. Does anyone have a change that has to do with those?
I'll ask.
Sure.
The Senior Service Advisory Board would like to ask for approval for $1,500 for parking planning funding from us.
For next fiscal year.
Yeah.
So that would probably be something we need to take up in January. Is that fair, legal counsel?
I would agree. Technically, the law and your board rules would allow for unanimous consent to take up an issue not referenced in the notice, but that itself is outside the notice. So if folks had an opinion and didn't know about it, didn't come here to give you their opinion, something for you to consider. What do you think? That unanimous consent.
All right.
And they said they would, if it goes over that, the professionals, that they would put out their funds that they have to anything over the 15.
I have a lot to say to that. I'll talk to you later about that. My recommendation is we hold that because it is not on the list of things we said, and we have gotten heat from the public where we have deviated from what we have said publicly, and nothing can happen with that until next year anyway at this moment, right? Karen, we've in the next, the first 6 days of the year, that's not going to make a difference.
It's not. I recommend waiting.
So we won't lose anything by waiting. But let's make a note that it's been requested so we make sure it's on January 6th.
So I make a motion to approve the agenda as written.
Yeah, is that okay with you, Sherry?
Yeah.
So good, okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. We have an agenda. Any disclosures of conflict of interest? All right, hearing none. We'll move to public statement. Item 5. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the board on items concerning today's agenda for up to 3 minutes? There will be a second option for public statement at the end of the meeting, which is also limited to 3 minutes, but is available on any topic. All right. That brings us to item 6, new business. Items for introduction and discussion, none. Items for action, large B, small a, committee appointments. I am presenting to you all, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 committee appointments. 4 of them are Board of Review and are reappointments. 1 is a reappointment to Carpet Advisory Board, 1 is a reappointment to the Rec Advisory Committee, and 1 is a new appointment to the Rec Advisory Committee. How would you all like to take these up?
I'm okay doing Board of Trustees follows line.
Board review, I'm sorry.
And
I'll make that motion.
All right. So summarizing your motion to reappoint the 4 Board of Review members with a term ending December 31, 2026.
I'll support it.
There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? I understand, Karen, that leaves 2 positions for perhaps alternates.
Correct. I believe you will be hearing from the assessor in time, and she has those recommendations for you.
Okay, great. Any other discussion or questions on Board of Review members? All right, we'll do a voice vote on this one. All those in favor of supporting the 4 candidates for reappointment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome back to the Board of Review. Item 5 is a reappointment of John Yurka to the Public Advisory Board with a term ending December 31st, 2027. I did reach out to the chair of that committee, Dan Hayes. He said he is delighted that John is willing to continue to serve on the Public Advisory Board. No objections at all. He's been a valuable member of the board and has been incredibly diligent in taking water level measurements for many years. So ringing endorsements.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to reappoint John Yurkan to the Public Advisory Board with a term ending December 31st, 2027. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Welcome back, Mr. Yurkan. Next up is the reappointment of Carolyn Ward to the Recreation Advisory Committee with a term ending December 31st, 2027. I reached out to Adam Ontry, the chair of that committee, and he said that he is in full support of both appointments. That's the appointment of Carolyn and the following new appointment of Sandra McIntosh. He says that Sandra would be an excellent addition with her experience in Truck or Treat and being a core member of the Bath Summer Festival planning team. If you recall, she is the one who's been engaging us in that conversation alongside Adam, and that Carolyn has been a valued member of the current committee, and her being reappointed would be a great benefit, especially in terms of advocating for adult recreational activities. So 2 more ringing endorsements of Carolyn and Sandra. Should these be taken separate? Okay. Any interest in moving Carolyn forward?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second for the reappointment of Carolyn Ward to the Recreation Advisory Committee with a term ending December 31st, 2027. Any other discussion or questions about this candidate? Hearing none, we'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Welcome back, Carolyn. Next up is the appointment of Sandra McIntosh to the Recreation Committee. This is a new appointment, filling a vacancy.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to appoint Sandra McIntosh to the Recreation Advisory Committee with a term ending December 31st, 2027. Is there any other discussion or questions?
I know she was very helpful in planning the tree lighting event that we posted, or the township posted, or the committee posted a few weeks ago. And she kind of joined that and was able to provide some contacts and some donations. It was very helpful.
Yeah, it would be helpful to bring her on officially, I think. All right, we've got a motion and a second, right? All right, well, let's take a voice vote then. All those in favor of the appointment of Sandra McIntosh to the Recreation Advisory Committee with a term ending December 31st, 2027, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Hearing none. That's great. Welcome, Sandra. We will reach out to all those folks and let them know that they have been appointed or reappointed, and for the board of review, they need to come in and be sworn in. I anticipate we will have more reappointments and appointments for you the first meeting in January. I've been a little surprised we have not gotten more reappointment forms back from folks. I hope that means they're busy and not disinterested from being reappointed, but we'll keep you updated on that. And as a reminder, those watching, We have a new reappointment form, so if you are currently an appointee and would like to be reappointed, there's a shorter, quicker, more efficient form for you. And if you are interested in being appointed to a committee, we have lots of vacancies and would welcome you as well. Those, I believe, both are on the township website, or reach out to the township or any board member for that. We would love to have more candidates. That brings us to items for action. Small B, fourth quarter final budget amendments. I believe that goes to you, Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I left information in this memo to help our new board member and for those that have not been through this process a lot over the last couple of years. We adopt our budgets by a general fund cost center, department or fund. And so just reminding you that I'm allowed to make transfers among various line items contained in those cost centers, but no transfers of appropriations for line items related to personnel or benefits may be made without prior board approval, so that you're aware of that. I did leave the watch list information on so that you all understood that our high deductible healthcare plan allows the HRA expenses to be taken care of into March 31st of 2025. That's a little different for some of you. We continue to pay 2024 expenses as well through mid-February. It used to be into March, and we have backed that up and have tightened that up so that we are not only sticking to what has been approved, but hopefully not allowing people to wait to the end of the year to use a bunch of money that they have left in their budget. So journal entries are corrections or items that are looked at by our accountants. The first payroll of 2024 occurred on January 5th of 2024, but it was for a pay period ending in 2023. So the accountants will go back and attribute those costs to the 2023 financial year for our purposes here at the township and for the purposes of our audits. Just so you're aware, that will occur again this year. In 2025, January 2nd, we'll have payroll, and that will be for the period ending December of 2024. So that will occur again next year, and that's not uncommon to cross financial years. We also look through the expenses to make sure that things are coded where they should be coded and that we're consistent in coding those. So if we locate something that's not in the correct place, our accountants can help us fix that. That can happen if somebody put like a purchase of equipment into contractual and professional expenses when it should be an equipment purchase. So just to clarify that for you. The end of the year budget process is quite complicated, and for those of you that are possibly new to this, tax collections begin December 1st. Payroll takes place in January 2025 for December. We are working through the finalization and receiving invoices for work that was conducted in 2024. Excuse me, thank you. The credit card bill for the end of November and December comes in at the end of December. Final payments and fees are received from the state of Michigan, which can include revenue sharing, Metro Act, liquor licenses, etc. And then transfers from the general fund to, let's say, public safety and the senior center are conducted by our accountants in January as well. And then moving into, I tried to separate these out for you by the general fund, the capital outlay budget, and then auto theft prevention, and then street lighting, and then you'll see some that were previously approved by the board that were on the list at your last meeting. But if you have any questions about anything that's listed here, I would be happy to answer your questions.
So to be clear, you're asking us to amend the general fund?
General fund, capital outlay, and auto theft, and street lighting.
Everything under that, you're not asking for action on?
Correct.
Because it's
already been acted on by you.
Great.
Yes, thank you. Mr. Cockey.
I think I just ran across the answer in my head, but the legal services went from $60,000 in 2024 to a projected $25,000.
I estimated high, and that is because we have not received our final bill. Part of that is due to some costs that we incurred for property at this time, and those will be put out to capital outlay, different places they belong, but I wanted to ensure that we had enough there. I'm sure come January, you'll see that those are not that high, and you can receive a revenue expenditure report that I will provide to you. But that's just to make sure we have enough in there so that we're not over. There's nothing else in that line to help absorb the cost. So,
But to be clear, you're asking us to move it to 85,000,
correct.
not 25,000.
It's a $25,000 increase.
Yeah,
Correct.
I think we should maybe change some formatting because then.
I can do that, if that helps make it more
Yeah,
clear.
that right there was,
So you got that.
I was looking for drastic changes and that appears to be one, so.
So each of these, Ray, is a plus.
Yeah, definitely. I understand that now.
Looking at, if I may, looking at just quickly, tracking on our invoicing process, we won't process ours until the first week of January for December time. But even just looking at it right now, it's, other than what has already been invoiced, and I think already we're waiting on the check, already taken care of, we're looking at under $5,000. So unless something really surprising happens in the next handful of weeks, or somebody's not been entering their time, we're far away from that 25. Yeah.
Thank you.
Additional questions?
So we're not offsetting these costs, so ultimately we'll be drawing more projected funds from the fund balance.
At this time, the revenue expenditure report, as of the 23rd of this month, we have $200,000 under expenditures. Revenues are coming in higher than projected, so we're doing well right now. And that's without the transfers to public safety or senior center or any of the others at this point, but currently we're running under budget.
The quarterly transfer or the annual transfer?
The annual transfer.
Okay. So that'll eat up a bunch of that.
It may. I do think we'll be using some for fund balance, but right now, police and fire, who are the predominantly large players in the funds, the public safety fund, are currently running under budget. So I would anticipate that it's a much lower number than we anticipated being transferred.
Okay.
The 17,000 for 6383, that was the demolition fees, wasn't it?
Capital outlay.
Yeah, capital outlay, sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, so it was to purchase the property, and then the land improvement, which is demolishing the land and putting it back. Yeah.
Boy, I looked at that the other day and holy cow, they did do a number on it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just want to make sure I wrap my own brain around this, I'm sorry.
Mhm.
So right now, without making any transfers, we're up 200,000,
Correct.
right? But transfers, we had probably planned for close to $1 million.
Correct. I do think that it'll be significantly lower than that.
All right, but probably not as low as 200,000.
No, that's correct.
Okay, so we are still planning to dip into the fund balance?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
But less,
Less. Correct.
so good news.
Very good news.
And the new budget has us planning not to do that at all.
Correct.
All right, other questions? This is an important action that we do at the end of the year. We do that as late as we do. The reason for our special meeting is so that all of these things can be in the budget at the end of the year so that our audit does not have a finding on it that says we overextended our budget. And I was on the board for many years when that finding was always on our audit. So it's good that it is not on our audit anymore, and we've got a process for that. If there are no other questions or concerns, I'd ask for a motion to approve the budget amendments as presented, if that is what you're inclined to do.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second to approve the budget amendments listed under general fund budget amendments, capital outlay budget amendments, auto theft prevention fund budget amendment, and street lighting budget amendment as presented. Any other discussion tonight, this afternoon? All right, hearing none, we'll do a roll call.
Mr. Kinsler?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Mr. Paxton?
Yes.
Mr. Herman?
Yes.
Ms. Haberman?
Yes.
Mr. Rosecrans?
Yes.
Ms. Delapia, yes.
I appreciate the time out of your busy schedules to meet and do this for the township. It's very important. Thank you.
It's nice to get out of the house. That is the entirety of our agenda. We now find ourselves at item 7, public statement 2. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a statement up to 3 minutes on any topic? Seeing none, we will move to board member comments. Kate, you want to start us off?
Just like to wish everybody Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year. That's it.
Thank you.
Just want to wish the community and the board of trustees a happy new year.
Thank you. I'll do the same. Happy New Year to the township. Happy New Year to all of you and to our staff. Hopefully you got some time off to rest and we'll have a bit more here. Our next meeting is scheduled for January 6th at 6 o'clock in this room, so we hope to see lots of people there.
I just want to remind everybody, if you're making your tax payments and you want credit for this year, you need to make them before 5 o'clock tomorrow if you're going to do it in person. Otherwise, the township offices are closed Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday next week, and so we won't be back until the new year on the 2nd.
Perfect. All right, the tax
They can
collector
pay
is
them online.
spoken.
They can pay them online up until, December 31st, but if they want to pay them in person and get a receipt in person, they have to do it by tomorrow.
All right, death of taxes.
Yep.
Great.
I'm just grateful for the opportunity to serve the community, and also a very happy new year to Bath and all of its residents. That's pretty much it.
Great. Thank you, Jerry. You want to bring us home?
Happy New Year to everybody in Bath, and welcome aboard.
Thank you. All right, thank you. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any against? What do you think? Record time now? No. Behind the feet.